Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for Serpent Tech, and we still have the C2 from Foghashing sitting in my living room because the funds and the availability to do what I really want to do is not there, but I need your help. Now, I'm going to take your advice under consideration, but it may not be the final product, but I'm going to show you my plan on where I want to put this, but then some of the problems we face. So please help out in the comments and let's get started. So inside this rat's nest of a garage, which I have a lot of stuff, you know, kids' bike, boxes, old computer towers, new computer towers, computer parts, power supplies, all kinds of stuff, as you can see. Somewhere in this area, which I need to obviously move things. I got a shelving unit back here with more computer parts and peripherals and VADA frames and all kinds of stuff. Somewhere over here, I would like to move, and maybe over here on the left side instead of the right. But you see the power panel right here, right? So we can't go directly through that wall underneath that power panel because the power might be coming up from the ground. So we need to go either to the left or to the right. And we need to take the line, the 10-2 line that's already over there, and bring it back over here and bring it down the wall to set up 2 PDUs is what I'm suspecting, or maybe 1 giant PDU, because we're going to need 2 30 amp breakers. We already got one that we're going to bring the wire back over, the 10-2 over, but we're going to need another one, and either 2 PDUs or 1 PDU to power 2 ASICs plus the C2. But the placement on where we're going to put the unit is super important. Either it's going to be over here to the left of the panel or to the right of the panel, but then we need to punch through what you see here, which is a concrete, that's brick, or you know, the big boys, excuse the wind, and the wall is quite thick, right? And we got something plumbed in right here. I'm not sure what's here. I got to open that faceplate up and see what's over there, but you can see there's nothing on this wall. So the power panel is somewhere right here is what I am figuring, somewhere in this area. So we got to punch a hole through, and that's where the hoses are going to go. Now the hoses on the C2 unit, if you looked at the overview video, it's not small. So we would need a hole not as big as the dryer vent, but maybe about 3 inches, right? Because it's the neck or the brass fitting on the end that's the biggest part, and we need to get 2 of those through. But then I also want to make sure that it's securely, you know, filled in or protected or sealed or whatever, to make sure that, you know, bugs and lizards and stuff like that don't get through. So maybe some type of door. Now if we punch this way, this is stucco, and if anybody's familiar with stucco, when you drill something coming out of the stucco, that's just going to flake. This line that you're seeing here are the bricks, so I can actually see where the bricks are laid, but stucco is very flaky. So what I really want to do is I want to drill from the outside in. So I need to identify where I really need to put the position, and then out here is where going to be the dry cooler. And we have this open area, and really what I would like to do is have a concrete pad that goes from about here to here, and then a 4-foot fence, open picket fence, not a closed fence, but an open picket fence to protect it, because I have a lot of wildlife in my area. Ducks and stuff like that will go and mess around with the trash can. And what I was thinking about doing is the pad will be a nice long one. We'll have the trash cans over here on the right, kind of, you know, stopping the outside world from seeing that I have a giant dry cooler, maybe kind of protecting it a little bit, or kind of, you know, obscuring it. And then the dry cooler would be more to the left, because this thing is super long, right? This thing is super long. If we were to go from this crack that you see here to this one, the dry cooler is about the length of that. It's not wide, but I do want to make sure that, you know, grass and leaves and when fall happens is not getting sucked in a dry cooler, impacting us. That's actually one of the reasons why people that have containers for their immersion cooling have the dry coolers up on top of the containers. So this is the area that I'm working with. It's got to be probably not going to be to the right of the power panel, because you can see we're right here next to the hose and the dry vent and everything. Probably be more to the left on the inside, so more in this area. So between the gutter and where my hand's at is where this concrete pad's probably going to be, where the trash cans, and I need to use my post hole digger, put some posts in, put up a picket fence, and then we need to mount the dry cooler securely to it and then run hoses from the CT unit inside to the actual immersion container, which is going to be somewhere in this area. Again, you know, get rid of this, clean up, get rid of some junk, garage sale, whatever. This shelf's going to be moved down, and then somewhere right here is where the C2 is actually going to be sitting, because it's on wheels and it's really heavy. I wouldn't put it on this plastic shelf. I would put it on a metal shelf like this one. So maybe I could get another one of these, because this is a little bit stronger. But even still, if I could just put the C2 down on the ground or have a shelf over it and the C2 not sitting on the shelf but the concrete, that probably would work as well. But number one problem, not for y'all to deal with, I gotta get rid of all this crap. But the problem is a lot of this stuff is stuff that I still use or need for day-to-day or IT fixes, or like, say for example, somebody needs a specific barrel plug to power their laptop because their old one broke. Well, I got one over there. Somebody needs you know, a CPU that fits their legacy system. Well, I have a system over here. I got multiple over there. So a lot of stuff I just need to really go through. A lot of junk. Need to hang these bikes up on the ceiling and try to move all of this crap out of the way. If I could get the trash cans out of here, that will open up a lot of space. So let me know your thoughts, besides all the clutter and all the mess that you see here. Let me know your thoughts. This is where I would like the C2 unit, or the container, to sit. Hoses going through the wall, outside to the dry cooler, and I got to run power. So 2 lines, power, 10-2, 2 PDUs somewhere on that wall or to the left of the breaker panel, and then we should be able to run power to our ASICs and do what we need to. As well as we got to run the power. That's another thing too. We got to be able to feed the power for the fans on top of the C2 through that same hole. So not only is the 2 hoses with the brass ends that are pretty big, but the connectors, which are the C13 connectors, through the wall, so that way we can connect to the PDU. And I got to measure how long those are, because depending on where I put the dry cooler or I put the hole, it may not reach. So I might need to get an extension and obviously weather seal it, because the dry cooler is going to be outside in the elements. And I also need to be prepared for hurricanes, so it needs to be mounted securely and safely. But that's pretty much it for this channel update. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. That's my plan. What would you do differently? I'll take into consideration, but don't be upset if I don't go through with your plan. First things first, I really need to get this TL working or out of here or sold, which I really don't want to do. I need to clean up this garage, make more room, and get started. That's what I hope to do. Still waiting on one more ASIC. Still trying to get a hold of a company to help me out. We'll see. Do me a favor on the way out, guys. Hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification button to stay up to date. As well as check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I'll catch you in the next one. I do want to say that I am asking if you are available, or anybody, if they would like to sponsor a portion of this build, but I ask that nobody overstretch or put themselves in a negative position. If you're willing to do so, I have a link down to the Twitter post below, where people who do donate whatever, you know, they would send me their transaction ID and name, so that way we could shout them out in the build as we continue to process and move forward on this particular project into Q4 2023 and Q1 2024. But again, don't overstretch yourself, and feel free to add your comments and suggestions, and I will take it under consideration. So let's get to that.